Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you've come to the right place. On this channel we discuss tech, wealth, lifestyle and training. Please check out all my content, like, share and smash the subscribe button. So in today's video we're going to be talking about how you can prepare for a recession to come in late 2020 or in 2021. If you're wondering what the hell is a recession, well, a recession is a period of economic decline in GDP for at least 2 quarters of the year. They cause several economic problems like falling living standards, an increase in unemployment and more. You most likely didn't know what GDP meant either. So GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product and is the value of all goods and services put together in a country. And if you didn't know what a quarter is another way of saying 3 months. Now that you know what recession and GDP means, let me give you my opinion on this matter. People seem to be under the impression that as soon as the virus is wiped out, life will snap back to normal. That planes will be filled with families going on holiday, and all factory workers will happily go and start working tirelessly. Problem is, no one knows how long it will take for the world to get back to normal. We have no idea what's coming, and a recession is very, very likely. That's why I recommend you to watch this video till the end. Now that you know both the meaning of recession and GDP, and you know my opinion on the matter, let's get into how you can prepare for the recession to come. So the first way you can prepare for a recession is by clearing all your debts. Bad debt is an emergency. This is because your debt collectors won't care that there is a recession and money is tight. This won't make them feel empathetic. If anything, it can make them more determined to get the money you owe them as soon as possible. Try to pay off or mostly pay off any debts as quickly as possible. This has many benefits. For one, you'll be debt-free and tightness of money during a recession will bother you less. And let me tell you that being debt-free is also amazing for your mental and physical health. According to research, high debt-to-asset ratios are also associated with higher perceived stress and depression. When looking at young adults with student debt, those with high levels of debt stress reported feeling more tense and anxious, troubled by physical problems and having greater difficulty getting to sleep at night. Students with low levels of debt stress. Looking across multiple studies, there is a strong correlation between debt and mental health. It was later found that there is further links between debt and suicide completion, drug and alcohol abuse, and the health outcomes such as obesity. So please guys, this is important. Make sure you clear your debts ASAP. If you're like me and you're living off your parents' income currently, encourage your parents to clear the debts ASAP too. This will let you guys be a big happy family, debt-free, stress-free and prepared for recession. Also remember, recession or not, being debt-free is always a good thing. The next thing I'm going to advise you guys to do is to make sure you know how much you're spending every day and what you're spending it on. Track all of your spendings. All of us, including me, we spend money on the most unnecessary things that we can live without. We also have 1 million online paid memberships. Some examples are Spotify Premium, your Netflix plan, your swimming club membership. I'm not telling you that you have to cancel all your memberships, but worst comes to worst, in a recession you want to have as much money as you can in your bank account. In this situation, you should be prepared to temporarily cancel your memberships. There are other ways to watch movies and listen to music online, so don't be disheartened. After all, this is just a precaution. Also make sure you track every single one of your spendings and don't waste money on useless things. Experts typically recommend spending no more than 20% of your earnings after taxes on discretionary items. I'd recommend you guys to create a monthly budget to ensure that you're living within your means and not overspending. Things like your rent, car insurance, utility bills, and food necessities. But eating out and buying games or anything that you would consider a luxury or a lifestyle expense, that's discretionary spending and it isn't necessary. Bear in mind, I'm not saying that you should go without these things forever. I'm saying in a time of recession, you must be smart with your money. Suffer a little bit during the recession and be the most happiest person after it's over. For my third bit of advice, I'm going to tell you guys not to spend more than you earn. Spend less than you earn. You may think this is obvious, but you'd be surprised at how much people spend way more than they make. This is a similar point to the point I made before, so I'll keep it short. Once upon a time, I was a victim to this mindset too. You don't need the most expensive designer clothes to look good and be fashionable. These will be unnecessary costs for you in the long run. You should avoid spending your well-earned money on things like this to prepare for a recession. Change your spending patterns and identify ways to cut back. This mindset will always come in handy in the long run. Usually, most millionaires and billionaires understand this concept and they live below their means. Implement this tip and the prior tip together for the best outcome and become recession-proof. And for our fourth piece of advice, start investing your money for long-term benefits. Invest for the long term. As bad as recessions are, they can also create some of the best opportunities in the stock market. Effectively investing during a recession can result in smaller losses, leaving more capital to reinvest at lower prices. When the stock market is falling and everyone is panicking, it will seem counterintuitive to keep investing. You have to remind yourself that it's practically impossible to time the market. This means that to give your investments the best chance of outperforming, you need to keep investing on a regular basis. An easy way to do this is to automate it so that it's on autopilot. However, you should only invest in companies that have low debt, steady cash flow and solid balance sheets. I would recommend that you guys invest in defensive stocks. Defensive stocks are stocks that always hold some sort of value, such as utility stocks. Investing in utility stocks is almost free. They won't produce you significant returns, but there will always be demand for electricity, even more now with our reliance on internet and technology. Slow and steady wins the race with the utilities, making it a great stock to buy during a recession. Those that are willing to approach recessions as opportunities can end up winning in the end. Guys, I know I went over this pretty quickly, but if you do want a more in-depth video on investing or stocks, please drop a comment in the comment section below. My penultimate tip for you guys is that you need to understand money, the government, and the economics surrounding it. Self-educate yourself on everything economics. In order to recession-proof your life, one of the best investments you can make is investing in education. No guys, I don't mean start going to a private school. I meant use platforms like YouTube to build skills that you can later turn into side hustles. Or start doing your own side hustles. For more on that matter, check out my video on side hustles that you can start right now. Also, educate yourself on economics by using websites like Economics Online and Investopedia. It makes a huge difference when you know what's going on in the world. Guys, please remember, if you're educated on this topic, you're going to be way more comfortable dealing with stuff like this. Knowledge really is power. My final point is to build an emergency fund for the long run. It's got to be at least a 6-month or more emergency fund. In a recession, an emergency fund is your first line of defense against debt and further financial ruin. A recession can lead to job loss or reduced income, general economic instability and limited opportunities for job change or salary growth. Fixed expenses like rent, student loans, groceries and credit card payments don't and won't pause if you lose your job or have your hours cut, which makes having a robust savings account a top financial priority for everyone. All of this can make covering day-to-day expenses difficult. That's why building saving habits into your life is one of the best ways to ensure stability in a rocky economic environment. In uncertain times like these, many of us want to feel safe. Of course, the first priority is to stay healthy. The second is to make sure you and your family can survive this recession financially. Another benefit of emergency funds is good mental health, because you will always know that if you're completely unable to make money, you have all this money stored which will have your back. If you don't have a solid 6-month emergency fund, you should focus on piling up cash. Avoid buying any luxuries for the time being. Postpone large purchases such as a house or a new car. It's also a good time to sell stuff you don't use often to get some extra cash. The simplest and best way is to put your money in a separate bank account. You need to keep your money separate, but easily accessible when an emergency occurs. I would recommend that you guys keep your emergency fund in a bank account that has no debit card linked to it. In case of an emergency, you can transfer that money out within seconds to another bank account. But because there's no card linked to it, even if you are tempted, you won't be able to spend any of the money. If you only have one source of income, it is essential that you have a massive emergency fund. This can help you get through any unexpected job losses or illnesses that hinder your ability to work. Maybe that is why you need to build multiple streams of income. Start by watching this video on how you can build other sources of income right now and go from there. And that's a wrap for today's video. I hope that by the end of this video you guys know what you have to do to become recession proof. Please let me know if you want more in-depth videos on certain topics that I talked about in this video, like investing for example. If you liked what you saw today, show me some love by smashing that subscribe button and sharing this video to friends and family. As always, feel free to drop any video suggestions or questions you have for me in the comment section down below. Also remember to stay safe and keep your family safe during this pandemic. See you next time on Butte Man.